Everybody sitting comfortably. Good morning, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first annual MOCA CMMA Conference. Are you going to translate, or how hard do you want me to go?
女士们、先生们，欢迎大家参加第一次的 MOCA 研讨会。
So this morning, we are honored to have Mr. Mike Van Geyn, who will present to us related to the building code and how we can achieve certification to meet the building code.
今天早上Mike Van Geyn，sorry，的演讲是关于那个建筑规范和如何达到建筑规范要求的演。
Yeah. So Mike has got 30 years of practical experience working at Intertek's testing laboratory. 20 of those years he managed the fire testing department.
Mike 有30年的那个在天祥测试公司的经验，20年管理那个防火测试的那个部门。
Now, we are also honored and very happy to have Wendy Simpson, who is helping to translate for Mike, and you will see here through the week. Wendy has a Master's of Science from Concordia University, and she is a research assistant at BCIT, Center of Building Excellence of Science or something.
我叫Wendy Simpson， 中国名是叶颖，我是在那个 Concordia University 那个硕士毕业，然后现在是在BC 省哥伦比亚大学的那个科学研究中心做研究员。
So without further ado, Mr. Mike Van Geyn.
Welcome to Vancouver, everybody.
欢迎大家到温哥华。
It is my pleasure to talk to you this morning about the building codes in North America.
是我就是很愉快的给你们讲关于那个建筑规范和如何达到建筑规范的要求。
The building codes are complicated documents of many thousand pages. For my presentation, I will discuss the main points that relate to a wallboard material. I can't talk about every possible clause in the building code, just the key or main items.
建筑规范是很复杂的一个文件有几千页的那个文字，它那个 Mike 现在只是主要是谈有关和波美板有关方面的那些规范。
So I'll talk about both the Canadian and American USA building codes.
现在讲一下美国和加拿大的建筑规范。
The Americans divided their building code into two separate codes. One is the International Residential Code, and the other is the International Building Code.
美国的建筑规范分为两种，一种是国际住宅建筑规范，另外一个是国际建筑规范。
The Canadian code is written by the Canadian government through the National Research Council of Canada, and we have one code.
加拿大是由加拿大政府的一个国家研究史里头写出来的，只有一个建筑规范。
The building code, did I skip a slide? No, the building code is ratified by legislation, and as such is part of the laws of the community.
那个建筑规范是法律，它是由立法机构批准的，属于那个社区法律的一部分。
In North America, the building codes are enforced by building officials, and they view their role as enforcing the law. So they are enforcing the building code just as the police are enforcing the criminal code.
在北美建筑规范就像那个对就法律一样，就是执法官员那个执行那个建筑规范的时候，是要像就是对待罪犯或者罪案那样执行那个法律，很严格。
The building officials take their position very seriously.
他们都很认真，就是那个政府的官员都很认真。
They are very conservative, and they stay away from controversy. So they will take the conservative approach to any situation of controversy.
同时，他们也有很保守，就是所有有争议的、没有测试过的产品，他们都不会用。
And the building official in a given community has final authority. So if they say no, then the answer is no, and there's very little that you can do about it.
建筑官员有最终决定权，如果他们说不行，那你们怎么样也不能用。
So that is the framework or the attitude of the building code here in North America.
这就是那个建筑规范的结构和官员的态度在那个北美的执行。
The primary distinction that we have in the code is the distinction of combustible versus non-combustible construction.
在建筑规范很主要的一个部分就是分可燃的和不可燃的那个建筑。
In non-combustible construction, you have special rules, and in combustible construction, there really are no rules. You can use any material that you want.
非可燃建筑有特别的那个规则，去使用那个建筑材料。可燃建筑呢，你基本上可以用任何材料去建设。
So for magnesium, for MGO board, in combustible construction, it is okay. You can use it right away.
波美板可以用在可燃建筑里头，没问题。
In the USA, the residential code is for combustible construction, and it is houses. So 1 and 2 family houses and townhouses.
在美国，国际住宅建筑规范是对那个可燃建筑而言，它主要就是1层或者几层的那些住宅建筑。
On my slide, I don't mention this, but in the International Building Code, we have a classification of Type 5 construction, which is combustible construction.
在这个住宅建筑规范里头，实际上有5种不同的建筑，可以包括在内。
For the USA, for non-combustible construction, they divide the code into classifications of Type 1, Type 2, Type 3, and Type 4 construction.
国际建筑规范是对那个非燃建筑而言，他们包括有4种不同类型的建筑。
For Type 1 and Type 2, all of the materials are required to be non-combustible.
第1种和第2种建筑是肯定要用那种不可燃的建筑。
For type 3 and type 4, the outside walls of the building are required to be non-combustible, but the inside can be combustible.
第三、第四种建筑，外墙面是一定要用非燃建筑材料，但是在室内的话，可以用可燃建筑材料。
So what that would mean for magnesium oxide board is that you could use it on the inside walls of type 3 and type 2 without any further testing or qualification.
也就是说，波美板可以用在内部用，就是在那个第三和第四类建筑里头用不需要做任何那个测试。
In Canada, we have a simpler system. We divide the code into Part 9 and Part 3.
在加拿大，建筑规范把分为第9部分和第3部分，就是对于建筑而言。
Part 9 is for housing and small buildings and is combustible construction.
第9部分是专门对别墅住房、小型建筑物而言，它们都是可燃的建筑。
Part 3 is for larger buildings and is non-combustible construction.
第3部分是非可燃建筑而言的，这些建筑都是大型的建筑，或者是第一、第2类的那种建筑。
So I have some examples of combustible construction, and once again, combustible construction is okay for MGO board without further testing and qualification as long as it's not structural.
这是可燃建筑的例子。在这些建筑方面，建筑里头，波美板可以在里头使用，不用做测试，除非结构上面有问题。
So examples are houses and duplexes, so two-family houses.
比如说单家和2户的联排别墅。
In Canada, 6-story, up to 6-story wood frame apartment buildings, and in the USA, 4-story wood frame apartment buildings.
在加拿大6层的住宅公寓楼和美国4层的公寓楼。
Small hotels and small commercial buildings.
小型旅馆、小型商业建筑。
And these buildings can be made of wood, and they can use wood and other combustible materials anywhere that they want to.
这些建筑可以用那个木材和任何可燃的建筑材料去建，包括内部和外部。
So combustible construction is still a big part of the construction market in North America.
可燃建筑在北美的那个建筑材料市场还是占有很大的一部分。
These are examples of buildings that are required to be of non-combustible construction. For non-combustible construction, the MGO board has to be qualified under the terms of non-combustible.
这是可燃建筑的例子，然后波美板要在这里头使用的话，需要测试通过。
So examples are large commercial and industrial buildings.
大型商业和工业建筑。
Buildings that have a high fire hazard occupancy in them.
高燃高危建筑。
Public assembly buildings, theaters, meeting halls, shopping malls, hospitals, institutions.
公共建筑，比如说剧院、会议厅、商场、学校。
And tall buildings, more than 6 stories in Canada, more than 4 stories in the United States.
高层建筑加拿大是比6层高，然后美国是比4层高。
and large hotels.
大型的酒店、宾馆。
So in order to qualify for the large buildings, non-combustible buildings, the code determines or defines what you have to do to be non-combustible.
建筑规范决定哪些材料是可燃的材料。
Some materials are non-combustible by definition, such as steel and concrete.
有一些建筑材料是根据它的定义或者特别的材料，比如说钢筋混凝土，大家都知道是非燃建筑材料。
For other materials, there are tests that are required to determine if they can be classified as non-combustible.
其他材料要经过规定的检视方法来测试它是否是非可燃的建筑材料。
For the United States, the test method ASTM E136 is used to determine if a material can be classified as non-combustible.
在美国，测试方法是按照美国测试和材料协会 ASTM 136条款来决定这种材料是否是非可燃建筑材料。
For Canada, the basic test method is CAN ULC S114.
在加拿大，测试方法是按照加拿大公认实验室 CAN ULC S114条款规定。
And in the recent code editions, they've added an alternate, which is not on my slide, but it's CAN ULC S135.
最近他们加了另外一个条款，是那个加拿大的CAN ULC S135条。
The S135 is a cone calorimeter test.
It's what?
Cone calorimeter.
那个S135的那个条，它是用一个就是像炉子一样的那种测试来做，就是上面大，上面小下面大的那种炉子来做的测试。
So we'll compare the ASTM E136 and CAN ULC S114.
我们现在来比较一下加拿大和美国那个E136和 S114的那个两种测试方法。
So in these tests, you take a small cube of material and you put inside a short tube at 750 degrees C.
这两种方法都是用很小的一个小粒体，然后放在很小的一个管子里头在750度的那个炉子里头去烧它。
In Canada, the test is 15 minutes. In the USA, the test is 30 minutes.
在加拿大是要测试50分钟，然后在美国呢是35分钟。
In both methods, we measure flaming, temperature rise, and the weight loss before and after the test.
这两个测试结果都是以那个测量火焰的程度、温度的上升、材料的重量，就是比较前后，就是烧之前和烧之后的那个结果。
For the American, the allowable weight loss is 50%, but if you go over 50%, it's still okay if there's no evidence of combustion.
对于美国的那个标准，那个重量可以减轻到原来就是烧前的那个重量的50%，但是如果是超过50%，你没看到有燃烧的那个证据的话，都可以通过。
For Canada, the allowable weight loss is just 20%.
对于加拿大来讲，它只能减轻20%的那个重量。
The weight loss during the test can be caused by the destruction of organic materials such as wood fiber, resins, or binders, or it could be caused by the loss of water from the chemical matrix.
在测试的过程中，那个重量的损耗是可能因为木材纤维、可发性那个聚苯叶烯、颗粒树脂或者是那些就是水分在材料里头的水分引起的。
In the USA, the 50% weight loss allowance is good, and most MGO products are expected to be able to pass the ASTM E136 test.
美国的标准，因为允许那个重量可以减耗50%，对于波美板来讲就比较好，因为它肯定是可以在美国所有的建筑中都是可以使用。
If you pass this test, your product can be used in any type of construction in the United States.
只要你能够通过这个测试，就是刚才说所有的建筑都可以用，包括那个可燃和非可燃建筑。
This test costs approximately $2,000 in North America.
这种测试，一个测试可能大概要how many thousand？
$2,000.
2000美金做一个测试。
The Canadian test has the low 20% weight loss allowance and does not distinguish if this weight is caused by water or by organic materials.
无论是那个水或者有机材料引起的那个重量消耗，加拿大的那个标准只允许你消耗20%的重量。
Because of this low weight loss allowance and because magnesium oxide board does release water, most MGO board materials are not expected to be able to pass this test.
因为那个波美板可能那个水的含量会很大部分，所以就是这种测试的话一般那个波美板都通过不了。
So in the event that you don't pass, then there's the alternate test, the CANULC S135 cone calorimeter test.
不过我们可以用另外一种测试方法，就是刚才说的那个 S135，用那个就是像不知道怎么说，那个炉子来去测试它。
The test the test measures heat release rate at an exposure of 50 kilowatts per meter squared.
它那个测试是主要测你那个热的释放量，看看有多大。那个是大概是50千瓦每平米。
Under this test, for a material to pass, the total heat release rate shall not exceed 3 megajoules per meter squared.
在这个测试里头的话，就是3个 megajoule 每平米3个 megajoule 那个结果你就可以通过。
So this test is a measure of how much combustible materials would be in the product that would cause heat release under radiant exposure.
它这个测试的方法呢，主要是测试就是说，在那个建筑材料里头有那个可燃的成分，对那个热的那个释放有多大的影响。
Many MGO board products can pass this test if there's not too much combustible fiber.
波美板大部分呢可以通过这个测试，但是如果是有太多的那个纤维在里头呢，那可能就通过不了。
Question, is gypsum wallboard non-combustible?
这里我们就提出一个问题，就是 石膏墙板是不是非可燃的材料？
And the truth is that gypsum wallboard does not pass the ASTM E136 test,
事
and it
实
does not pass the Canuel CS14 test either.
事实上，那个石墙膏板既没有通过 ASTM 的136的测试，也不能通过 ULC S114的那个测试的通过。
Despite this, gypsum wallboard is allowed to be used in all types of buildings, and the reason is that it is listed directly in the building code as an exception, as an accepted material.
但是石膏板却可以应用在非可燃的那个建筑中，那是因为它早已列入那个建筑规范可接受的材料里头，所以呢，它是一个例外。
So gypsum wallboard does not have to pass any of these tests.
所以那个石膏板不需要通过以上我们说的那两种那个测试。
So we think, can magnesium oxide also be allowed as an exception the way that gypsum wallboard is?
那我们想在加拿大的规范里头，那个波美板的材料是否可以作为例外允许用在那个规范的那个不可燃的建筑里？
This is a possibility, but it will take a lot of work and some time to convince the code authorities that this is a good idea.
这是有可能的，但是呢，我们要做很多工作和时间去说服那个规划当局把这个材料包括进去。
One goal of the MOCA Association is to work towards this end if we have the funding to do so.
这是MOCA 的一个奋斗的目标。
I'll talk about some of the additional code requirements that are separate from the combustible, non-combustible issue.
现在讲一下，就是在规范的要求里头的一些测试的规定。
One of the requirements is performance with surface burning characteristics.
其中一个要求是表面那个火燃那个蔓延的要求。
And these tests are very similar for Canada and the United States.
在美国和加拿大那个规范的要求基本上是很相似。
Although there are many ratings allowed in the code, the strictest ones are a flame spread rating of 25 or less and a smoke developed rating of 50 or less.
那个在那个规范要求里头，火焰那个蔓延的等级是25，在烟雾扩散等级是50。
As an example, gypsum wallboard achieves a flame spread rating of 10 and a smoke developed rating of 5.
石膏墙板它那个火焰蔓延等级是达到了10，然后烟雾扩散等级是达到了5。
MGO panels are expected to achieve the same ratings as gypsum wallboard.
我们预期波美板的那个是可能符合这种要求，会达到那个和石墙膏板的等级那些等级。
Flame spread testing is not expensive. It's approximately $3,000 for a test series.
这个测试不是太贵，大概是3000块钱左右做一系列的测试。
There's a special consideration for products that contain expanded polystyrene beads.
其中我们非常关心的是波美板含有可发性的那个聚苯叶烯颗粒。
It's actually more of an American perspective than a Canadian one.
美国比加拿大会考虑的就是更认真。
Although the EPS beads are only a component, the code officials may consider a product with EPS in it to be foamed plastic.
虽然那个泡沫可发性聚苯叶烯只是一部分成分在那个波美板里头，但是呢，那个建筑规范是认为它是发泡材料，是发泡塑料。
Since foam plastic has special rules in the code, they have to undergo thermal barrier testing.
因为那个泡沫塑料在建筑规范里头有特别的规定，所以呢，含有那个EPS 产品的这些都要通过热屏障的测试。
Under these tests, the wallboard must meet the same criteria as ordinary gypsum wallboard.
在这种测试里头，我们一定要测试的结果一定应和那个石膏板相似。
The tests are the CAN ULC S124 for Canada and the UL 1715 for the USA.
的测试方法在加拿大是 CAN ULC S124美国是ASM UL 1715。
There are other performance requirements depending on how the board is going to be used.
另外一种规范里头，另外一种要求是根据它的性能。
If the product is being used as a structural component, so it's part of what holds the building structurally, then the structural performance for that application has to be determined.
如果那个波美板是用在结构上的话，那就是有额外的规定。
If the material is used on the outside of the building, additional performance requirements such as freeze-thaw resistance may be required.
如果是外墙板，它是暴露在室外的话，那么它那个冰冻和解冻这个测试就要进行。
So MOCA has developed a standard for magnesium oxide board that describes these additional requirements.
MOCA 对那个波美板这些额外的那个要求做了一些标准。
So in conclusion, magnesium oxide board has unrestricted use in non-combustible construction, restricted for combustible construction but easy to comply for the US. For Canada, it's also possible but a little bit more difficult because there is the requirement to test for heat release to the CAN ULC S135.
对北美来讲，就是要无限制的使用波美板呢，就要符合那个非可燃的那个测试方法的要求。那么在美国呢，就比较容易达到；在加拿大呢，就有一点困难。
If anyone has questions concerning the information, I'd be happy to answer them.
现在如果大家有什么问题的话，他会很乐意，Mike 会很乐意回答你们的问题。
我有两个问题一个呢就是刚才谈到这个石膏板是为什么没有通过 E136和这个 S114这两个测试，它能够被列入到特别例外的一个这个建筑师是
He has two questions. The first question is why gypsum board doesn't need to pass the two into testing and become the material in the list of the code, probably a little bit history.
So I think the question is how to get magnesium board listed as an exception. And gypsum was allowed in recognition of the need to provide fire resistance, despite the fact that the board is not non-combustible. The second reason is that the gypsum industry is a big industry with a large lobby.
OK，石膏板它本身有那个一定的防火那个性能，这是第一。第二呢，就是说石膏板的那个工业在北美是很大的一个工业，然后他们通过政治的渠道，有很多那个就是背后给那些政治家就是出主意啊什么，然后就
第二个。
second。
那个刚才那个麦克说的那个要把这个欧美平板放到这个建筑规范里面，需要大概5年的时间。这期间呢，还要这个前期呢要有一部分的资金支持和数据的收集。那么这个资金的支持大概资金量大概是多大？这是一个小问题。第二个问题呢，这个数据的检测、数据的收集，这个检测过程，这个检测机构是哪里来做？
它实际上那个叫什么标准草案里头，它就是专门回答这个问题。
是原来做起草这个欧美平板的
对
草案的是吧？那个但是标准里没有涉及到这个资金的量。
哦，
大概是需要多少？
So there's talk about that we can put the mechanism set board into the building code, but we need the time, like 5 years, and the funding. His question is how much in estimate in total?
So how much time and how much money would it take to get magnesium oxide board accepted? There's no specific answer. I think ultimately it has to be based on the construction industry's belief in the product. Dealing with the technical aspects is one thing, but the industry as a whole would have to believe in the product.
他说，现在那个就是大的一个总概括的那个可能还没有算出来，但是呢，很重要的一部分就是说，我们北美的那个建筑界或者施工的工程界，他们要承认和愿意用你们的那个材料，这是很大的一部分，然后测试呢是另外一部分。
我这个问题的意思呢，实际上就是因为北美市场是一个很大的一个应用市场，那么这个欧美平板是在中国国内生产的量很大，这个资金一个是资金方面，一个是时间方面，如果说在可接受范围内呢，我们可以组织国内的一些企业来支持这项目，是这个意思。
She said the North American market is big market. So, and their mechanism oxide board in the manufacturing is very big too. So they would like provide the funding and to accelerate the process.
That would be helpful, but I still think 5 to 10 years with best effort, I think, for that to happen.
Yeah, but they want to how much? Like 5 years?
How much?
They probably accept. Then they might need the money. No, then they can collect the money from the manufacturing or other. Then they make it happen.
It's a question, how much money would that take?
所以主要就是总共大概是多少钱，然后你们就可以 组织或者那个。
If I had to guess, there's
You don't need to say. You just say maybe you want to provide the structures.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, we would have to look at, we'd have to make a plan and see this, you know, how many, what each step would take. Yeah, it's, we'd have to spend some time on that.
他就说现在呢只是一个草案，然后这一次拿出来给大家讨论，然后呢具体的那个计划，他们会就是做下去，然后才能拿到一个概述。
谢谢3位。
我问一下，我们平板的密度也要求。
密度。Is it density of the mechanism possible has any requirement? The density.
No, there's no specific requirement. No. No specific density requirement. The density is dictated by the performance that you're looking for.
只要你们那个满足的各种性能的要求，那个密度没有要求。
现在所说的各种性能是各种方面说的防火性能。
它这里只是说的防火性能，但是在那个标准草案里头，它会列出一系列的那个测试，只要你能够通过那些测试，那个密度不是问题。
还有这个强度的要求。
对，包括所有的。
强度多少？
强度 What is the 结构what is the structure strength so yeah the requirement.
In the the question is, what is the structural strength requirement? In the MOCA standard, we have minimum flexural strength requirement. We'll go over all of those requirements in the MOCA standard presentation.
在那个就是波美版那个草案里头，它有提到，就是大概是多少？
谢谢。
然后在星期五下午的一个 presentation 里头，就是一个演讲里头，它也会提到。
我再问一下，这个波美版它这个里面不是分一个内墙板和外墙板，它两个数据一个是分可燃的和不可燃的，是吧？那么里面比如说内墙板，它可燃的是不是就不需要做检测的标准了
？Mechanism oxide board it can use to make the house or no I have to look at the English word. It says that if you use indoor, is it that you don't need the fire testing, or just need the basic testing?
In combustible construction, that's true. Yes. So there's no no testing required as an interior wallboard for combustible construction.
What about non-combustible interior?
Interior in Canada, yes. In the USA, only for type 1 and 2 construction.
在内墙用内墙的话，就是可燃和不可燃都可以在加拿大，但是在美国的话，只能是第三、第四类，商业建筑或者是其他，主要是和住宅建筑不是住宅建筑的。第一、第二类的话，比如说公共建筑啊，什么特别的建筑就不可以。
这样的。
美国那个 ASTM 标准，它 它允许那个50%的失重，我们
50%的重量
重量损失，就是材料重量的减轻。
对对。
这个我们加拿大和它紧挨着，我们允许20%，差距这么大，这是有什么特殊要求？
Why American and the Canadian has such difference for the weight loss? 50% was 10%.
The reason, why is the weight loss different for Canada and the USA? This goes back many years, and the Americans, in my opinion, are a little bit more accepting of a broader range of products. The Canadian is more simple in their thinking. But it's been a long time. This has been a perspective for 30 years. So, but I think at the end, the Americans are evolving these requirements faster than the Canadians.
他说这个是一个比较长的历史，就已经30年了，这个标准都没有变。但是呢，就是说美国呢，就是比较开放，愿意接受新的东西。加拿大呢，就是比较保守，所以他对这个标准还是没有放那么开。
这个，因为我们现在很多的不燃的材料啊，他说的非可燃，好多的非可燃材料都是用无机材料制作的。这个无机材料在制作过程当中啊，就是本身有一些结合水，还有一些吸附的水，就我们说的叫含水率。这个所以20%这个数字就接近它。本身它比如说这个材料的密度如果是小，就是比较轻的那种材料，它吸附那个水就要接近这个20%。
你就说无机材料，不是你们玻璃板？
大部分无机材料。
玻璃板大部分。
玻璃板属于无机材料的一类。
哦。
所以它这个数字如果是定的这么苛刻啊，那很多就是非可燃的材料在这儿就没法使用。
He said the non-combustible material in China is more or less is called non-organic. Use non-organic material. Only the water is already almost reached to 20%. So it's so restricted.
That makes sense. Yeah.
他们也同意，所以呢，他们就是想把你们这个材料看能不能像那个石膏板一样，就是改进进去，放到那个我们的规范里头，这样你们就不用做了。
What was the question?
It was just a comment about the Chinese view it as organic versus inorganic, rather than combustible versus non-combustible.
He said that there's the non-combustible material, only the water, it's already almost reached to 20%. So it's very restricted. That's his comment.